Hi, everybody. My name is Vicki Lee. If you like my speaking, please like, share, and subscribe. Well, we have been talking about deception. We've been talking about when the Gibeonites came into the camp yesterday, and Israel did not inquire of the Lord. They were deceived, and they made an oath that they were stuck with. And so we are going to talk about when people deceive. And we are going to go into the Bible because the Bible is very, very honest and it just tells the truth. We're going to go back into the Testament saints and what happened with their families. We have talked about Abraham, we've talked about Isaac, we have talked about Jacob and Joseph, and we have done quite a bit of study on that. And I have mentioned Jacob, the heel grabber, the deceiver, and the things that he did. But we're going to go specifically into the story where he deceives his own father for the birthright. And we're going to tell that story and talk about it. Genesis 27, when Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." "Here I am," he answered. Isaac said, "I am now an old man and don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your weapons, your quiver and bow, and go out in the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like and bring it to me to eat so that I may give you my blessing before I die." Now, Rebekah was listening as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me some game and prepare me some tasty food to eat so that I may give you my blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die.' Now, my son, listen carefully and do what I tell you." She's going to make a mistake here. "Go out to the flock and bring me two choice young goats so I can prepare some tasty food for your father just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat so that he may give you his blessing before he dies." Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I'm a man with smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing." So the son is thinking it through while the mother is not. His mother said to him, "My son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say. Go and get them for me." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and she prepared some tasty food just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her oldest son, and she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with goat skins. Then she handed her son Jacob the tasty food and bread she had made. He went to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son, who is it?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game so that you may give me your blessing." Isaac said to his son, "How did you find it so quickly, my son? The Lord your God gave me success." He replied. Now they brought God into it. Then, then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come near me so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not." So, what is it that Isaac is suspecting? Jacob went close to his father Isaac and touched him and said, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau, so he blessed him. "Are you really my son Esau?" he asked. "I am," he replied. Then he said, "My son, bring me some of your game to eat so that I may give you my blessing." And Jacob brought it to him, and he ate, and he brought some wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come here, my son, and kiss me." So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, "Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you of heaven's dew and of earth's riches an abundance of grain and new wine. Many nations may serve you, and people bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may the sons of your mothers bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and may those who bless you be blessed." And Isaac finished blessing him, and Jacob had scarcely left his father's presence when his brother Esau came in from hunting. He too had prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. Then he said to him, "My father, sit up and eat some of my game so that you may give me your blessing." His father asked him, "Who are you?" "I'm your son," he answered, "your firstborn son Esau." Isaac trembled violently and said, "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I blessed him, and indeed he will be blessed." When Esau heard his father's words, he burst out with a loud and bitter cry and said to his brother, "Bless me," and said to his father, "Bless me too, my father." But he said, your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing. Esau said, isn't he rightly named Jacob? He has deceived me 2 times. He took my birthright and now he's taken my blessing. Then he said, haven't you reserved any blessing for me? Isaac answered Esau, I have made him Lord over you and made all his relatives his servants, and I have sustained him with grain and new wine. So what can I possibly do for you, my son? Esau said to his father, do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, my father. Then Esau wept aloud. His father Isaac answered him, your dwelling will be away from the earth's riches, away from the dew of heaven above. You will live by the sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will throw off his yoke from off your neck. Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. He said to himself, the days of mourning for my father are near. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. When Rebekah was told what her older son Esau had said, she sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, your brother Esau is consoling himself with the thought of killing you. Now then, my son, what do you say? Flee at once to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him for a while while your brother's fury subsides. When your brother is no longer angry with you and forgets what you did to him, now the mother did it too, didn't she? What you did to him, I'll send word for you to come back from there. Why should I lose you both in one day? Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I'm disgusted with living because of these Hittite women. If Jacob takes a wife from among the women of this land, from Hittite women like these, my life will not be worth living. Sad, isn't it? And the Bible is just honest. It just tells the story. These are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is the lineage that Israel's going to come through. And yet the mother conspires to deceive. Jacob is called the heel grabber, the usurper. And that's what happens with the help of his mother. And as he flees to save his life from his brother's wrath, he never sees his mother again. His father, Isaac, goes to his deathbed knowing that he has been deceived by his own flesh and blood. Deception cuts, and it cuts deep, and it's not able to be kept for long. It doesn't matter whether it's with someone you're in a relationship with, your husband, your wife, your fiance, your family, your friends, your job, organizations, your church, the nation. We look at Washington, D.C., and the things that come out, and we see the deceptions and what goes on in our own governments. We see it in international governments. And so the Bible is wise to just tell us the truth of what has happened in the past. Have you deceived? Have we ever had a moment, all of us, where we had a deception, where we didn't quite tell the truth, the little white lie, because we wanted to save someone's feelings? We've all had shades of some part of it in our lifetime. Are you responsible for deceiving somebody? Isaac, the father, knew something wasn't right, didn't he? And when I talked about the Gideonites coming into the camp with Joshua, they kept asking questions. Joshua kept asking them questions, and he didn't stop and wait. Isaac didn't stop and wait. But with Joshua, when the Gideonites deceived them, that was a tribe that was a deception from without. Isaac, in this story, the deception is from within, and it hurts. The closer that person is to you, the more it hurts. Jacob is going to wrestle with God in the future. and he's going to have a limp for the rest of his life from where he wrestled with God, and God changes his name to Israel. And he has those 12 sons. And if you go back into my teachings, we go back into what happened, what he had to live with. Jacob, with his mother, deceived his father. And yet Jacob's going to have 12 sons. His choice son is going to be Joseph with the coat of many colors. The other brothers aren't going to like it. They're going to sell him out, and they're going to come home and say, Daddy, Joseph is dead. And they're going to sit and watch their dad mourn the loss of Joseph. And I feel strongly that those mothers of those boys and people around Jacob knew. So when Jacob had deceived his father, Jacob was deceived by his own sons. And it all came out, and God worked through it all. But how sad, how sad. What a tangled web we weave when we choose to deceive. If you have deceived somebody, you haven't quite been honest, repent, go to that person, make it better, you know, clear it, say I'm sorry, repent of it to God, clean it up. And if you have been deceived, if you're the person who has been deceived, take it before the Lord, put your boundaries down, mete out the consequences that need to be meted out, and understand that we are all fallible. And because we live in a fallible, fallen world, we have to have a lot of discernment. I hope this helps. Thank God for the Holy Scriptures because they tell us the story, and the things that were written in former times were written that through the encouragement of the Scriptures, we might have hope. So when I go through things, or I see things, or I suffer through things, or I have been the person that caused other people to suffer at different points in my life, I can go back to those scriptures and I can say, there's nothing new under the sun. And there is a God who sent his son to redeem all of it, all of it. If you're contemplating deceiving, not telling the truth, think it over. Think it over. When I talked on good decision making, I'm going to leave that down there so that you can go back and take a look at it. I hope this helps everybody. If you like my speaking, please like, share, and subscribe.